this is David Stark from WatchOurPass.com, your website for movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Today I'm talking to Lonnie Chavis, who plays Gunner in The Waterman, which releases in theaters on May 7th, 2021. We're going to talk to Lonnie in just a second, but first let's check out the trailer, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. It helps me out a lot. Thank you.
This town is weird.
It's just different here than what we're used to.
Yeah, real different.
I know this move's been hard for you. It's been hard for your dad, too. He's just stressed about me.
I always thought the Waterman was just something grown-ups told kids to keep him from sneaking off into the woods. No one knows where to find him. No one except me.
I just want to know if the Waterman is real.
But that forest is alive. Being in those woods all alone, no chance to escape.
I know how to make you better. Do you know what he meant by that?
There's some weird stuff going on.
It's a sign. They're getting close.
I'm gonna find him.
So thanks so much for joining me. This is Lonnie Chavis, who plays Gunner in The Waterman, which debuts in theaters on May 7th, 2021. It's David Oyelowo's directorial debut, so it's a very interesting film. I guess the first question is, so this is The Waterman. It's the follow-up to the 1998 Adam Sandler film, The Waterboy. So what was it like following up on that storied tradition of Sandler films and, you know, just kidding.
I was thinking in my head,
I guess have you seen The Waterboy? It's an old
No,
film.
I actually haven't. I've been told that it's a really funny story though. Man, when you said that, I was thinking in my head, is it? That would think it's
Yeah, no, this is a very different film. It'd be interesting if there was a connection, but no, this is a very different film. So you know, I love this film because it's kind of a kids movie, but it has such a more serious tone. Like I feel like it deals with kind of serious subjects, and it doesn't patronize kids. It kind of lets them go on their adventure, but lets them kind of confront the realities of life. You know, I guess the first question is, how did you find this movie? It's just such an interesting kind of unique film, and such a special experience to be in David Oyelowo's first directorial debut. So how did you find this film?
Well, when I had first gotten the script, like you said, I wanted to be in it because I was 11 at the time. This was 2 years ago when I had first filmed this. And when I had gotten the script, I wanted to be in it for, you know, the adventure and all the magic behind it and the supernatural theme and, you know, the graphic arts. I mean, my imagination was going wild when I got the script. I mean, there was so many things. Like a child imagination is vivid. Mm-hmm. And when I had gotten deeper into the script with my mom, I realized that this is something I can relate to. I mean, I would 100% do anything for somebody that I love, especially when it's my mom, and I know that you would too, and anybody else would.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's, you know, that this film has that kind of, it straddles that line between kind of a childlike imagination, but then also kind of dealing with the realities of life and where those two kind of intersect. And so I really liked that aspect of it as well. And I think, yeah, you're right. Like people can relate because, you know, even if it sounds crazy, like to a kid, it might sound, you know, it might sound very believable, and it's for your mom. So you're going to want to do whatever it takes. So, you know, the obviously you do a great job in the film. You and your co-star Amiah are kind of the main focus of the film. But this is also David Oyelowo's first kind of directorial debut. He also stars in the movie. Had you worked with him before? Has it been someone you wanted to work with before?
No, I have not. Actually, I've not worked with him before, but I have actually watched lots of movies to see what he did, and I thought he was a fantastic, phenomenal actor. And working with him was a very different director process that I'm used to. I mean, this was one of the best experiences I've had with a director and actor in a long time. I mean, there's so many things that a director, not only an actor in a movie, has to control. I mean, the camera angles, you know, costume, his makeup, other people's makeup. There's just so many things that he has to manage. But he had such a good grip on every single one of them. And on top of that, he was doing everything smoothly, flawlessly, perfectly. And he just made it like a walk in the park throughout the entire movie. And not only did he treat other people with kindness and, you know, not have negativity throughout the entire production, he always made sure that a plate was handed out to me when I need something. I mean, one of the great experiences I've had, and he's honestly a really fabulous guy.
That's great. That's I talked to some directors who are also stars, and it's just such a balancing act, right? Because as a star, you want, whatever is the best is what you want. But as a director, you have to deal with the realities of the production and the schedule and
And he
budget
sees
and
in
all that
both
stuff.
positions.
Yeah, it's tough to
Mhm.
manage. So that's awesome here. I mean, your resume is impressive. You've got a lot of acting credits under your belt. So you mentioned that you worked with stars before. Is it was it any different with David? Was it just kind of maybe more comfortable? It sounds like he was a really easy person to work with.
Yeah, it was definitely 100% different with Mr. David. I mean, not even only this movie pushed me on my limits as an actor and what I can do. Not only as an actor, as a person. I had so many fears in this movie, and I had anxiety in the movie. Like, for example, the log scene. I was afraid of heights at the time, and that log was really high up, and I had to
Oh,
climb on
jeez.
top of it. And when I got up there, I didn't want to get down. And Mr. David had pitched in, and he reminded me why God is doing this, why my role is doing this. He's doing this for all the love and the passion and the hope that he has for his mom. And he made me tap into my own life and realize that I would do this and that I see myself in Gunner. And for another one, the scene with Joe, I was having a very difficult time with that scene because I couldn't see myself in that scene. I mean, as an 11-year-old kid, I could not see myself losing my mom, the love of my life, the only thing that makes my life great at the time. And Mr. David had came to me, pitched it on me because I was having a really difficult time. And he gave me a personal story about his life. And again, he made me tap into my own and just see through his perspective what it is like to lose your mom. I mean, the only thing that keeps your life going, the light in your candle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a great point because I'm trying to think. When I was an 11-year-old kid, like I had a pretty easy life. I didn't have to deal with any of the kinds of things that your character had to deal with, and it's must be tough as an actor because usually you would draw on personal experiences, but maybe maybe you just haven't had that, and that's great if you haven't, but you still have to portray that on screen. So it's really great to hear that you had a director who could really kind of speak to you as an actor and a star and kind of help you navigate through those tough situations.
100%.
And so, you spent a lot of time with your co-star, Amiah. How did you establish the relationship with her? I mean, did you just kind of get on set and hit the ground running? And also with your family, because, the family is a strained unit, but it still is a strong unit in this film. So was there anything that happened to kind of get those relationships started, from the start of filming, or did you just kind of develop them as you went about? Because it's an indie film and you're spending a lot of time together and you just don't really have much time. You're basically spending every day together for a while.
With Amiah, the co-star role, with Amiah, her name's Amiah Miller, and she
Gotcha.
plays Joe. Yeah, with Amiah, we had such a fun time together. I mean, we were around the same age, so we thought the same way, talked about the same things. And we just joked about the dumbest things that a kid can joke about. I mean, we would joke about a bird or, oh, look, your lips are crusty. Like, we would joke about the dumbest, absolute, like, just most ridiculous things on set. And then as soon as they said action, we would both snap right back into character. And with my family, my actor family, I feel like behind the scenes, as you see in the movie, there's love and magic in this movie, but I feel like behind the scenes there was real love and magic put in just behind the scenes and put into every single detail. Like the lullaby that Mr. Rosario sings to me, that's a lullaby that Mr. David had made for his children.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
there's
awesome.
love and magic and passion just put into every single detail. And when it came to me and Mr. Rosario's character having a bond, excuse me, when it came to me and her character having a bond, behind the scenes, we had real chemistry.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, there was the dinner scene where I was reading the book under the table. That was Chinese food that they had brought out. And that was some of my most favorite food and some of her most favorite food. So in between every take would just be eating and eating and eating. And the people that brought out the food, they were like, you guys slow down. Just kind of eating all of our food. I mean, it was just so much fun working with her. She's one of the most kindest and sweetest people you can meet in the industry, not only in LA, but in Hollywood.
It sounds like just a very special shoot. So it sounds like just a really great experience, especially for you to have as a young actor to kind of shape your career. Because I mean, I'm sure your career is just going to be going up from here. So it sounds like a really, really great film to kind of be involved in. Your character Gunnar is an artistic kid. He draws a lot. He has a very active imagination. Um, are you also artistic? Do you draw? Were any of those drawings your drawings? To say curiosity.
I'm not that good as Gunnar, but I do draw myself. And I'm actually not familiar. I wasn't familiar with the art that, the type of art style that Gunnar uses. So, but they brought out a graphic artist to actually help me get in touch with Gunnar's art style. And it was pretty awesome. I mean, he gave me some tips and tricks that I still use to this day. Pretty awesome.
I wish I had that kind of training when I was a kid, because I always liked to draw, but I never put the work in or had the skill to do it. So I would just
Yeah,
I
I
have
get
this great vision in my head.
easily. I know what you mean.
And your co-star in the film, Amiah, she has like a really cool green hair color. Have you ever dyed your hair? Did you think about maybe dyeing your hair for the film? Is that something that you've done before?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. Behind the film, they had some type of dyeing wax or something that you can put into your hair, and as soon as you put water in your hair, it'll all fall out.
Oh.
And when I was in the makeup trailer I remember we had a kind of break in between the movie throughout the weekend to like maybe Tuesday. And throughout that entire break, they had this this type of wax dye in the makeup trailer. So on the first day of that break, I went to the makeup trailer and I was like, "You guys mind if I put this in my hair?" Like they put it in my hair for me. It was kind of blue and red, and honestly, it was one of the coolest things I've done in a while, because I've never daxed my hair. So, I mean, wow,
Yeah.
great vocabulary, Lonnie. I've never dyed my hair, so that was definitely a cool experience to take part of.
That's brave, because I think I would be too nervous to be like, I hope like it's gonna make my hair like change the color permanently, or it's gonna make it fall out. That is brave for you to do. Maybe.
100%. I mean, I was actually told by one of the directors on set, "You sure you want to do that?" I mean, that my hair fall out the day I did it. So are you sure you want to do that? But hey, I went along with it, and I got some pretty cool pictures. Oh, man, just looking back on it, I see how cringe I looked as an 11-year-old. Man, it was so corny.
Oh, it's good. And they were in COVID. Everything is delayed, so
Yeah, I mean, this was actually filmed 2 years ago, so this is pre-COVID.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was definitely pretty cool.
So it must have been
Yeah.
filmed like right before, I guess, like the year before everything shut down. So I guess what was that like, kind of having this film done, and then all of a sudden you're just not sure if it's going to come out, or when it's going to come out, or even how it's going to come out?
Yeah, I was actually really nervous when COVID had came out of nowhere. I mean,
Mhm.
this COVID had came out of nowhere. I mean, most of the people that where I live, we have never even heard about this until they had put something out
Yeah.
and said that this is about to happen. We're going to shut everything down and shut you all down. We're going to keep you in your houses. Man, when it came out, I got really nervous about the movie not even appearing,
Yeah.
not even making a difference in my life. So I'll definitely say that COVID had made a huge impact on my life when this movie came out. Because I made another movie called Boy Behind the Door, and the beginning of COVID too. Those are both supposed to come out. So when they had
Jeez.
both were about to come out, COVID came out, and they couldn't come out. I mean, they literally COVID impacted my acting career.
Yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
definitely. You're telling your friends, you're like, "Hey, I'm going to be in these movies." They're like, "Sure you are." You're like, no, it's just-
Exactly. I'm like, these movies, they're like, of course you did.
Sure. We're in movies too. They're just delayed with COVID as well. So.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So it sounds like those two movies are coming out. I know that this year has been kind of strange, but you're promoting The Waterman, which comes out next week, and you also have what was it, Behind the Door, The Boy Behind the Door,
Mhm.
is also coming out sometime in the future. What's next for you after those? You have some other projects lined up, or are you just kind of relaxing, being a kid, and waiting for the next role to come along?
Relaxing and being a kid. And even if I am doing something, I keep my mouth shut. All right. I mean, over the years, I cannot tell you how many times I've almost spoiled something, and I have learned to keep, to be quiet. So I'm keeping my mouth quiet. You're not getting nothing out of me yet, but you're gonna have to see.
So it's worth a shot. Well, look forward to seeing Lonnie in The Waterman, which comes out in theaters on May 7th, 2021, and then sometime in the future, The Boy Behind the Door, which I don't know anything about it, but given your performance in The Waterman, it's going to be a very good film. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining me, and everyone look forward to watching this movie.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. That was Lonnie Chavis, who plays Gunner in The Waterman, which releases in theaters on May 7, 2021. It's a directorial debut of David Oyelowo, and it's also a children's film that has a little more serious tone than I think most children's films have. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot to make sure all my new interviews go straight to you. And as always, please go to watchyourpass.com for all your movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Thank you.